So let's let's talk about the economic impact, and maybe Mr. Eule would like to have his say on that as well. Mr. Eule, could you? We just heard about how it's going to be more efficient to go over to a non-carbon-based energy source. That's what we're really talking about. It's my understanding that oil and gas and coal, at their fundamental, is much more efficient than any other method that we've got at this point to produce the same amount of energy. Thus, if we're not using those efficient methods, that means that some sort of wealth is having to be consumed that otherwise wouldn't be consumed, which seems to me destruction of the manufacturing of wealth would hurt normal people. Maybe you could comment on that.
I think I understand the question.
I mean, fundamentally, at the economics, we're being told the economics is actually now working in behalf of moving in the direction, the global warming direction, pardon me, of making that a major goal of bringing down the climate, bringing down the temperature. Is that what your read? Obviously, it's not. Maybe you could just get into a discussion over that.
Yeah, I think when you look at where alternate technologies are, they're still more expensive than more traditional energy technologies. I think that's pretty plain. They have intermittency issues, and one of the questions is, can they be scaled up to provide the energy that people need to lift themselves out of poverty worldwide? When you think about climate change, like I said in my testimony, it's a technology challenge. And as long as alternate technologies are more expensive and less reliable than traditional technologies, people are going to use traditional technologies because it's more important, especially in the developing world, it's more important for them to provide energy to their people, and they will continue to use these technologies because they make sense. Once alternate technologies are competitive with traditional technologies, a lot of these issues go away, quite frankly. We won't need a big international conference to decide how to change the energy systems of these countries because people adopt these technologies anyway because they make sense. They don't at this point. But they will one day in the future, but we just don't know when that's going to happen.
So any businessman that runs a corporation that is not going to more efficient use of energy is wasting the resources of his company, and that would happen naturally, hopefully, that people are making their adjustments to go to more efficient methods of using the energy for their company. Let me ask Dr. Christy, when we talk about what was the most, the hottest day, isn't this important? Because if indeed there's been this massive increase in this amount of CO2 in the atmosphere over these last 20 and 30 years, if indeed that has not resulted in these hottest days, does that not disprove the CO2 theory of that CO2 is causing the climate to change?
Okay, in terms of the hottest days, I think you're referring to the chart on when a number of 100-degree days occurred in the United States. That one that shows in the 30s many more occurred than today. So when you look at the United States record of extreme high temperatures, you do not see an upward trend at all. In fact, it's slightly downward. That does fly in the face of climate model projections. I just had a paper accepted for a publication in which we looked at Alabama and that very thing. Not one single one of the 76 climate models ran came close to producing what actually happened in Alabama's climate over the last 120 years. So I think my bottom line here is I would not trust model projections on which all policy is based here because they just don't match facts right now.
So if the facts are that we are not having this dramatic increase in temperature that we've been told that we're having, and at a time when CO2 has been increasing dramatically, the amount of CO2 going into the atmosphere has been dramatically increasing, well, then that would suggest that the CO2 theory of climate change is just inaccurate.
Well, I'm very happy to say you're acting like a scientist here. When a theory contradicts the facts, or the other way around, you kind of try to change the theory. And that's what we've shown, is that the key metric, the bulk atmospheric temperature, is not obeying what climate models say. The real world is not going along with that rapid warming. And so that should tell us our understanding is not sufficient to explain what is happening in the real world. We don't know how CO2 is affecting the climate.
So the models based on this are obviously incorrect.
The models need to go back to the drawing board, I think.
Thank you very much.